What is good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Autumn and I'm here to help you assume the position of who it is that you want to be in your life, because remember, you are the only thinker. You guys, today we're going to be talking about something that I really want to touch on, and that is the end. Living in the end, because living in the end truly is where it all begins. And I say that meaning that it is where it begins for you, as living out the end, living out your manifestation instead of trying to get to your manifestation. All right, so I'm going to give you two things that I noticed, and then one way I easily hop into the end and have received large sums of money, etc. So let's get into the video. Okay, so the number one thing that I see a lot when people learn to manifest, when people decide that they are going to be the person that they want to be, all the good things, a lot of people spend a lot of time in the middle and in the processes, trying to get the perfect process, trying to figure out what's going to be the best option for them in this way. So what that does is, when you stay in a state of processes, or when you're only relying on the processes, yes, you can get there, but it is from a linear point of view, right? So it can take you a longer time. But when you are so focused on your processes and being in the middle and doing all these things, you don't realize that you stay in a state of processes, a state of only manifesting the processes, instead of really moving yourself over to the end, which is where it starts. And so the end is really where you should be observing from. And what I mean by this, let's just say that you want to manifest your SP and you've been doing all the techniques, you've really been going hard at it, you've really been making some headway, but you still don't feel as if you are any closer or where you really desire to be, or even see yourself. You can't hardly see yourself being there because it really seems far away from you. And that's what I really mean by getting involved in the middle and in the processes, right? So let's just say that if you were living in the end, you and your SP, okay, the other day was Valentine's Day. So if you were already living in the end, then you would be reminiscing. Okay, so we went out on Valentine's Day. He took me to dinner. We had such an amazing time. We actually decided to plan a trip this summer because he's really excited for me to meet his family. And then you rant on about that. That is living in the end as if you were already in the relationship with the person, right? Instead of actually thinking, when am I going to get in touch with them? When are they going to reach out to me? Because you are in that middle state of figuring out how that's going to unfold. And that is not where you need to be. You need to be living in the end and thinking from the end. So thinking from the end is realizing, okay, well, we got a vacation to plan now because I'm going to meet his family. So this is the difference, already immersing yourself in the experience. And a lot of people get stuck within that first process, as I was telling you about, because a lot of people are like, oh, but it's not real, it's not real. But you can perceive it in your mind, right? You can perceive that you had dinner with your SP on the 14th for Valentine's Day. You can see it. You can visualize it. So if you are visualizing with it within you, that is the true reality, you guys. Remember, internally, what you're doing within yourself is what's unfolding through you, okay? So it's not anything that's really happening up here. You're only feeding your subconscious the information, and it is unfolding through you, right? But what you're doing within here, the inner talk, what you're saying to yourself, the inner conversations that you're having with your SP, they need to be from the standpoint of actually being in the relationship, actually living that life. The same thing with money. Actually living like you have the $1 million, or thinking from the version of you that has the $1 million, right? So actually immersing yourself in that experience, because if you can think about it, you guys, then you could actually figure out how to move from that perspective, all right? So the third thing I really want to share with you guys is my way of how I quickly get into the end, all right? So this was actually how I manifested that $10,000, was by immersing myself in that experience like I already had it, and feeling as if I definitely already had it, which brought it to me within 4 hours. The truth is, you really want to get used to seeing yourself now, like you being who you are now in the end. And what I mean by this is a lot of us still see that there are 4 months till harvest, like Neville Goddard says, or like we're always thinking on a deadline. Okay, well, I have this many days left, so X, Y, Z. You're counting down, so that really makes you believe, or you really are engaged with the old story, or are engaged with the outside circumstances. So you're living in regards to your 3D reality, okay? But you really want to see yourself as you are now, that you not physically changing anything, but you want to see yourself having your desire. So for instance, if I wanted to manifest a large sum of money, if I wanted to manifest more clients, if I wanted to manifest anything, you guys, put it where it resonates for you. You want to see yourself now having that. So you want to move from the assumption that you have that, but how you're going to do it is you're going to be how you're going to look how you're looking now. Because a lot of us have that tendency to wait or think further into the manifestation, where you have your hair all done up when you're the millionaire and you have the gobs and gobs of jewelry on, or whatever you're going to do to spend your money on, and then you're seeing yourself with that amount of money. Now it kind of separates you if you are someone who's very logical, because you're thinking, I have to first get the house, I have to first do my hair that particular way, and then I have to first have all the jewelry for me to understand me looking at my bank account and my phone, because that's what I have on. So you're sending the signal that all of those things have to happen before you can actually agree with that reality. No, this is the difference, and this is what I do. I'm seeing myself now with the money as I am with this sweatshirt on, this bun, this makeup. I'm looking at my phone right now and I'm seeing the money actually right now in my reality. I don't have to physically change anything about myself, because the only thing you have to change anyway, you guys, is your mindset, is your thoughts, is your behaviors, is your inner conversations. So the way you want to really like put a nail in this is by moving as you were, if you were already that person, of being in that new state right now. So let's just say I'm manifesting $1 million. I'm looking at myself now in this sweatshirt or whatnot, looking at my phone, and I'm seeing all the ways the money is coming in, right? I have the $1 million in my account now. But how do I move forward, even though it's not in my 3D reality? So for instance, let's say I have a random bill that comes up that needs to be paid. What would that version of me that had that $1 million do? They'll be like, okay, it's paid. It's paid. It's paid. Things come up. Oh, I'm rich. I got enough money to pay for that. Oh, I see something I want. Oh, I have more than enough money to pay for that. I'm acting from the person who already has the $1 million as I am right now, with no resistance. Okay, so you really want to get to a point where you're thinking of yourself now, as you are now, as you're dressed, that you don't have to physically change anything about yourself, because that is the 3D, but you have to shift within yourself. So it's everything that you're doing internally, not having the resistance when circumstances come up, like old circumstances, actually thinking from that new version of yourself, oh, they've already figured that out, or the version of me would have already had that figured out. She already took care of it. Okay, she already paid the bill. All her bills are on auto pay. That's how you need to move from, you guys. And I feel like that's exactly what I did when I got that $10,000 like in 4 hours, because I was like, cool, I already got it. Like, I already took care of that bill that I needed to pay, whatever. And it was just no resistance there, because I felt as if I didn't have to physically be different. I didn't have to physically be in a new location already for me to receive it. So that was signaling to me that me as I am right now, I don't have to physically change anything on the outside for me to receive my desires, because it's true. You don't have to physically change your 3D reality in order to have your desires, but you do have to change the story about yourself. You do have to change the way you're responding to things. You do have to change the way that you're showing up inwardly before outwardly, because the 3D, it is what it is, but inwardly is where you move mountains, you guys. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you, I know. All right, you guys. So I actually want to leave it there, because if you could think like this, that you don't have to physically change anything about your reality, all you're doing is moving internally and acting from that place. So that's how you will respond to situations that pop up in your reality, by no resistance at all, by acting from the person that you would be when you have the thing that has the thing already. And just move from that assumption, and then all the problems that you have, the problems that you think that you have, I promise you guys, I know this for a fact, they will instantly dissolve, and a lot of them will just go away on their own. All right, but if you're still stuck in that in-between space thinking of how to get there, that's the space you're going to occupy, is the thinking and the how and the doubting and all. But assuming yourself to be that person and having what you want to have and moving from that space, that's where it comes in quicker. And that's where you need to live from, the end, not trying to be in the middle, the end. All right. So you guys, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you're listening on my podcast, thank you. I love you guys. And also, you guys, don't forget coaching and all that good stuff. I would love to help you guys. I understand how it is, but you literally can move mountains. I'm telling you guys, like, I know this for a fact. All right. You can literally move mountains. Let me help you in that instance. All right, so get down in the description box below, book an email session with me, and I will also link it down in the comments below. All right, so remember, you guys, imagination is always on your side, and I'm too. Bye.